somebody needed to do it. And that's true. The vision was there from the beginning. The how was not there. You know, whatever it is, you gotta lead with heart, passion, and it gotta be fun. And the moment something is not fun anymore, to me, it's not worth pursuing anymore. I started my first business with no savings. Just me using whatever I was making from one job and give everything pretty much I had every month outside of my rent and stuff towards that business. So I had a burnout in 2019. Now all of a sudden, look at me, taking 2 pills at the age of 26, whatever I was then. I let go of the idea of, if by the age of 30, I'm not going to be a millionaire, I'm a failure.
Hello, friends, and welcome to this conversation and this little first ever podcast episode. My name is Calista Grisa. As some of you know, I work at a startup accelerator, and as part of that, I get to have really fun conversations with very interesting founders. And so when I was in Ottawa, I realized Alessio was in town, and I thought, why not go and sit down and have an interesting conversation with him? And so we did. Alessio is the founder of Ariana Naturals, a saffron tea business. And so we talked about how he came up with that business, the various other businesses he's had beforehand, and his relationship with mental health as well.
But when I get analysis paralysis, I find I have like 1,000 thoughts in my head, right? Yeah. How do you calm that in order to be able to write your thoughts down?
I have some mentors and I have some advisors, people that have done this before that are always there for me. And I actually, one of the best ones is I have this gentleman that I call on a daily basis. And it's just me complaining about how much stuff there is to do. And I want to hear and it helps me come up with a plan by just me telling him all my problems.
And you're not alone in your problems. You're not just talking to yourself in your head. You're actually talking to someone and they can be there to listen.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then actually, sometimes they give me good advice. Sometimes there's no advice on their side at all. But then I just confirm to myself that that's actually the right plan. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, and once I do that, I do like to smoke a joint.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
only after I figure it out.
Okay.
If I do it before I figure it out, it's chaos.
Yeah.
It makes it more confusing.
Well, because you can get paranoid even, or like more anxious, no?
Yeah, I figured it out. I mean, I've been experimenting with that for a long time, and I kind of know now 1 is enough, 2 is too many, 3, forget about it.
Yeah.
So I know that with my 1 to 2 puffs, and I smoke very light stuff, like very light. And once I know, I say, okay, I know what I gotta do. Now I can smoke, and then I get hyper focused on getting it done.
Interesting.
It took me a lot of paranoia to get to that point.
Okay, before we dive into that, let's go back to the mentors. Or how did you meet, for example, the one mentor you call every day? How did you meet him or her or them?
Him, and I just met him over a drink 8 years ago. It was literally like, actually, I went for a drink at this bar. My brother used to work there, introduces me to this gentleman, and we just clicked right away. And we talked about business. We ended up opening a business together. I used to own a restaurant back in the day, so we opened a restaurant together. We just knew we were going to do something together.
Okay.
We weren't sure what.
Yeah.
We're like, let's do something together. And so I ended up being a restaurant, failed miserably. And mainly because we had a third partner that wasn't a good person. And so eventually I just needed to, be like, I can't deal with this anymore. So we lost pretty much everything we invested in. And then we opened another restaurant. Went well, but management wasn't structured properly and all of that. So it ended up crumbling as well. So short venture there too. And then eventually we ended up getting into some real estate together. Everything together.
Okay.
With a holding company. Like 50-50. Whatever we do it together.
Yeah.
And then eventually into Ariana, he took more of a mentor position because I was telling a lot of my stories and I was doing more. And also he's not here anymore. He moved back to Italy.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he still is my mentor in that regard, and we talk every day. And to me, that is so important that I wouldn't change anything about it.
And what was so different in your first venture that you built together, between him and the partner that didn't work out? Because you guys all three of you came together to build this business, right? I imagine perhaps the two of you, like you and your mentor, were closer, but the three of you went together into business. What was maybe the fundamental thing that made them so different?
That there was nothing in common between the two.
Okay.
Like literally, like nothing in common. Like completely different. Like one of them has values, and respects his word. The other one is not, and probably has some issues that Freud would say, you might want to go back and deal with them.
Okay.
To your younger self,
Yeah, deal with the trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
What made you go into business with him? Or like, how did you meet this third partner this person?
Because he had the spot. He goes, guys, I have the spot that it's super cheap. It was like $2,000 a month. We can do whatever we want with it. We can take over the restaurant. There's some hood fence there. And when I heard $2,000 a month in 2016 for a commercial space already set up, it just, to me, it felt like, let's do something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So he comes to me, and then I'm like, oh, why don't we involve this other gentleman that I was very close to? So the three of us can actually do it together. And we just know we were going to have fun with it. Whatever it is, you got to lead with heart, passion, and it gotta be fun. And the moment something is not fun anymore, to me, it's not worth pursuing anymore. That's why right now it's important to, if it's operation, if it's whatever it is that it's making it harder for me, I need to solve the problem before this becomes not fun.
Yeah. But you have a financial background, right? So you used to work in banking at one point.
Yeah.
At what point did you start developing this creativity, or did you always have it, or like this instinct to build brands, for example? When did that start?
I this is funny. So I always had it. Okay. I remember already as a kid, very young kid, we used to have our own system in kindergarten of exchanging goods between ourselves by using things that are valuable to others, like peanuts that would fall from the tree. Like super cheap peanuts that fall from the tree. You pick them up and you say, I give you, no, they weren't peanuts, they're pine nuts.
Yeah.
More valuable. And I'll give you 10 pine nuts in exchange of a piece of paper to write on. So I always had it. Finance, I just, part of it was I thought you needed that finance background to get in business. At least that's what most people, that's the idea a little bit behind.
Yeah.
And I did it. I worked at a bank. I worked for an insurance company. I still hold a license as a broker. To sell insurance and
you have to renew it every year, year. And you still do?
This might be the last year.
Okay. Finally cut the ties,
yeah, this might be the last year because it's not my happy place. Being in front of the laptop to move funds around, it's not something that makes me happy. When I was working at the bank, I would, every time I could, I would go take a fresh air break and go outside, and I would just imagine about opening a retail store here or doing this over here, and that stuff kept me alive. And then I quit the bank when I was making a good salary. My mom thought I was crazy at the time. And she was like, "What are you doing? What are you selling?" She still doesn't know what I'm doing. She thinks I'm just selling saffron, and she has no idea what this is. She just know I quit a job that was great, and you know. And
what was that turning point where you quit your job, or did you do a small transition where you saved up, started a side hustle?
No.
It was just right away.
Yeah, I've always done things out of no impulse, but almost. Okay. Like I started my first business with no savings. Just me using whatever I was making from one job and give everything pretty much I had every month outside of my rent and stuff towards that business. I couldn't put as much as others put in. Like my other partners maybe put more money, and I had to put more sweat equity. So I had to put more of the actual being there, doing things, creating, and then which is fine at the beginning. Eventually, you might hit a wall. I spread myself too thin. I had 2 restaurants. I still part owner of an ice cream store on Lansdowne.
Yeah. I saw that online. I didn't realize that was you.
Yeah.
That one is like prime location.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
Full disclosure, this is gonna I know this is gonna be online, but we are selling it too.
Okay. Yeah.
We're selling the business at this point. Again, mainly because there's just too much. But you start doing all of this and you got it all out there, and if you don't have a clear purpose or mission, eventually, like it happened to me, you hit a wall.
Yeah.
And so I had a burnout in 2019 because I had all this restaurant that I opened and
Yeah.
closed, and then doing this and insurance, and without having a clear why I was doing it.
And why did you start all these things? Just you wanted to try all of them at once to.
I was like, if I gonna do all of these, something is gonna pick up.
Yeah.
But I never really hyper focused on just one.
Yeah.
Right? So eventually, many things I would do differently, but it taught me so much. And all those lessons, it's now what I just want to do, Ariana, and do it properly, with passion, with intention, and just focus on one thing, and do it with my 100%. But I just thought something was gonna pick up at some point. And
Ariana was part of that.
Ariana was part of that, but it wasn't what it is today. It was just saffron package like all the other one that I was just trying to sell as without storytelling behind it, without me behind the business, without sense of community, like drink saffron, be happy. Again, the community building, and it just wasn't going anywhere. It was too early for the saffron market. People still weren't as there wasn't as much as awareness.
Yeah, the wellness market wasn't
Right.
there yet, right?
And everything else was wrong. I didn't know what CPG meant. I had zero experience in it. I just thought that this would be cool because somebody needed to do it. And that's true. The vision was there from the beginning. The how was not there. And so in doing all of this, in 2019, I get hit like a ton of brick, and I start experiencing depression and anxiety and panic attacks. I had a pill for panic attacks. I had a pill for mood swings that kind of keeps a balance. And I was like, I was the happiest kid I've ever remembered. I grew up in Italy, and all I could remember is playing.
Yeah.
There was no worries. And now all of a sudden, look at me, taking 2 pills at the age of 26, whatever I was then. And that's when I realized that what needs to change. It's because I'm doing something that I'm not happy. What's getting in the way? So I went to a psychologist. I did a lot of work on myself. I let go of the feeling of the idea of, if by the age of 30 I'm not gonna be a millionaire, I'm a failure. That's what I told myself, that from the age of, I started my first business when I was 20, and that's the narrative that I told myself. And so after you failed at the beginning, and you realize that you're now 30 this year, and not much has changed in that regard, that can destroy you too. So you just compound all of this, you get hit by this depression. So I started my healing journey, and saffron was kind of the precursor of that. Because that someone, they introduced me to saffron in 2019, and they said it's been drinked for thousands of years in the Eastern cultures for its mood enhancing property. And to me, that was like, I was mind blowing. I was like, but what do you mean? Why does nobody even talk about it? Either you're lying, or there's a big business opportunity here. One of the two. So I went, I did research, and research just started coming out. Saffron works the same way antidepressants work on your neurotransmitters in your brain. So it works on serotonin, which is known for mood. And it releases dopamine, which is known for focus, pleasure, and even glutamate, which instead related to memory and learning. And again, works on the same neurotransmitters. It's a matter of quantity, doing some research on that. And I decided to try it. And I've been on it for about, at that point, that was like 8 months that I've been on saffron, meditation, walks, all the things you could do to retrain your brain.
Better, yeah.
And one day, it was 2020, I was going to Italy, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to bring any pills with me. I'm going to try it. If something happens, I'll be in Italy. At least the sun can help me. I just stopped taking them completely. And it's been since then that I haven't took a single thing.
Wow.
And then
Cool
I
thinking.
never felt the brain being like, you're scared at the beginning.
Yeah.
When you got to do this, you feel scared. Because you're like, what if I get a panic attack on the plane? What if I get a panic attack before I go to bed? What if I feel, and I was good. So I'm not saying, hey, saffron, it's the only thing that made it up. You got to work on a bunch of things. you can do this and then take saffron, then you go eat a burger every day at McDonald's kind of thing, right? Though there's work yet, but it was definitely a big help.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
it
when
helped you into that transition
Yes.
into like a new lifestyle. Almost.
Yeah, also because it tastes so good. It's the only superfood that, to me, in that category of mood enhancing, that tastes so good. Because the other ones are what? St. John's wort, rhodiola, ashwagandha.
Yeah.
Good luck biting into one of those in raw. It's just
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't.
I've had ashwagandha before. It's
It
so
doesn't taste
horrible.
great,
Yeah.
right? This thing you can put it under. I put it in my coffee every morning. Sometimes I'm lazy. I don't want to make tea. I put some saffron in my coffee because that's how good it is.
Yeah.
So to me, it's so easy to take it that I was able to really stick to that routine, and that really helped create other habits
Yeah.
of routines. Yeah. So and then I realized at one point that that's all I wanted to do, and slowly I started getting rid of pretty much everything else to just focus on that, and that happened in the last 2 to 3 years, and that's when now Ariana's been taking a different direction.
But so you've had that story since the beginning of Ariana, right? And so when did you make that transition into building Ariana Naturals into what it is today, and to really incorporating your story into it?
When good question. There's a few answers. So it used to be just pure saffron in its purest form, no alteration, just a tweezer to pick it, to help you pick it. But then I realized, first of all, that it wasn't selling. Online,
Quite
retail,
expensive too, right?
expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but once you understand how small how little you need, it becomes like any other tea, to be
Okay.
honest. So,
Yeah.
but the point is that people weren't ready, in general, sentimentally wise. People weren't ready with the health benefits of it. People weren't ready to start now all of a sudden opening a tin can, grabbing a tweezer. It was just too much,
Yeah.
I guess, to ask. And so, first I understood that it needed to change the delivery of the saffron. So I decided to make the tea blends, so that this is a ritual people are already accustomed to. You're already drinking black tea, you're already drinking green, you're already drinking chamomile.
Yeah.
I'm adding saffron to enhance what you're already doing. So that was and the other part is when I realized that how much people connected with the story. When I would tell my story of first of all, I needed to be okay with openly, publicly talking about my depression.
Yeah, which is like a huge step in itself, right?
That's the
Yeah.
first thing, being comfortable telling everybody. That was the first thing. The second thing is thinking nobody cares. Who cares? Why would people care about me and my story? That was the biggest thing you keep telling
That's a
yourself.
good and a bad,
Yeah.
right? Because it frees you, but also you want people to care about it.
And what if they
get
don't care?
it. Yeah, and what if they don't care? But
Then-
it's
then you
freeing,
feel-
but it's
Then you feel a little embarrassed
Yeah.
almost, right? The thought is there for sure at some point. And it was like, I started sharing a little bit because I started listening to podcasts. I started following the CPG trends. I started following brands like Midway Square, Blooms out there. And I realized how much storytelling was important for them. And so here today, here tomorrow, listening to podcasts, seeing that everybody is trying to do it, and then I realized how powerful my story was to compare to a lot of them out there. And I was like, why am I not telling mine? And then that's things switched, and I said, like, let me start doing that. And that only started about a year and a half ago, to be honest. And I realized people were responding to it. People responded to that authenticity and vulnerability.
yeah.
And
All the way
that's
from customers all the way to even partners and retailers, no?
Oh yeah, that's how I got my distributor, was through my story.
Oh yeah, how did you meet him?
And I met him at the show last year in September. Shout out to Franco from Raw Elements. Yeah, I went into this trade show thinking about if I can get a good amount of retailers or a distributor that can help me sell this. I don't know if I'm going to continue this business because it was starting to get a lot of work, bootstrapped. Funds were limited at that point because I've invested in so many things and keep putting my money into it. And I was like, at which point am I going to say stop to this? I was like, you know what, let's go to the show. Let's invest a bit more money and see what happens. And I spent the whole show looking for retailers and distributors and all that. And at the last day, there was a booth beside me. Which is Raw Elements. And the guy that was there, one of the owners, was also the key account manager. Here's my story. Poor thing must have heard that story a million times because I must have said
Pitching
it
all day long.
all
yeah.
day long. And at one point he comes to me and he goes, "Hey, I heard your story. It's very interesting. Tell me more." So he fell in love with the idea of being being vulnerable, leading with and the story, because everybody goes through a bit of the up and downs, and not everybody's comfortable sharing. and knowing something that can help you alleviate that, lift off your shoulders. And he was very interested in the story. But at that point, the packaging did not look like that. It was a white
I saw it, I
bag
think.
with a sticker on it, which I was even embarrassed to go to the show with. But then I said, no, let's go. And he's like, you know what? We're a natural, more boutique style distributor. We have a sales team with us. Let's talk. And that was at the end of the show. And I was like, okay, who knows? There was another distributor interested, and the months following that, those were my two biggest hopes. I said, if this one of those two land, because they can sell it for me and help me distribute, then it means I'm not the only one who sees this. Somebody's validating also my idea. I bet you at the time my e-commerce I wasn't investing too much into e-commerce yet. I was more trying to go retail first. And after 3 months, finally, we're getting somewhere, and Michael Packer screws up my whole first run.
Oh.
So when they were supposed to finally said, yes, we'll give you a try. Let's try you out. To me, that was like the biggest Christmas gift I could get, because finally, and then the day they were supposed to pick up the pallet, I called them to say, they had a truck scheduled to come that morning on the 21st of December. I called them to say, cancel the truck. I can't give you this run.
What happened? What was wrong with it?
I was fortunate enough to actually being able, so they had this pallet with 80 to 140 cases on,
Whoa,
and a smaller pallet with only 30, which I was supposed to take to do my e-commerce stuff, to do my small stores around Ottawa. And when I opened mine, I realized things were not clean. And I see they were all screwed. I was like, oh God, what happened to the other 240 cases now? What if he picks them up? They're all like that, and I burn my bridge. They're going to be like, I don't want to do business with somebody that's going to send me stuff that doesn't look good. And what if it goes to stores, and then I burn my chance right away after all this work to develop this product?
And then
this took me a long time to develop. And so I called them, I said, stop everything. And I had to go to Montreal. We went through each box, and we decided that I told them, guys, you gotta do everything for me again. I can't sell this. And they were nice enough to say, okay, yeah, we'll do it again for you. We realized we screwed up. And finally, after we're supposed to be in stores by January, we got pushed to April pretty much. So last month, it's when we actually, we went to Vancouver.
This last April.
We went to Vancouver,
this is super recent.
and we launched. And in the matter of 3 weeks, we're already at about 50 doors.
Wow.
We were originally into 15, myself with the other product, and now we've been growing quite quick.
Yeah, but this is the type of mistake or like mishaps that if you have a connection with your distributor, for example, or a rapport there, then they're willing to give you some leeway, right? Like if you hadn't known them or if they hadn't known your story, then perhaps they would have been harsher, perhaps.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer that you attract what we all send out energy through vibrations, however you want to call it, and you end up gravitating towards people that are the same, right? And I feel that's a testament of that. We gravitated towards it. So good people gravitate towards each other. And he saw authenticity. I saw them back, and I saw the same thing in them. And they're human. And I told them, and they were like, yeah, you don't have to worry about this. We'll wait. Things happen. It might happen again. You're showing proactiveness on it. You're showing actually that you rather not sell this than sell it, try to make a quick buck, and not do it properly. And they actually appreciated that a lot. And so now I feel like almost an extension of their team.
Well, there's like a lot of trust there, and there's like history there too.
Yeah. So it feels very good, and I think it's very rare to find someone like that.
And you're potentially looking for a CEO. Oh, see, we can cut this if this is not public.
No, I made a post on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah,
that's
I don't
true.
Care. That's true. Yeah.
I'm totally open, and that's how I like it. I always like to be authentic, so I have no problem. But yeah, I'm looking to bring in, whether it's a CMO figure, COO, maybe COO that knows maybe a little bit of finances too, that can help with that side of things.
Yeah.
But if I'm seeing this and I'm doing it, I've done it for free for the last 4 years with the market potential, there must be somebody else maybe that's interested in joining the mission. And whether it's just a share, just giving them, equity in the business, or a mixture of equity and a bit of a pay, even though I'm not taking it. I'm open. It's just not easy. It's not easy to find somebody that wants to join in the mission, mainly
And
because
put skin in the game,
and
really.
put skin in the
Yeah.
game. But now it's easier because now I have distribution. Before I didn't.
Yeah.
Now it's easier, but
And
I know there's somebody out there. It's just a matter of I'm gonna look at that route until I'm looking at raising money too.
Yeah.
That will help
Okay.
the whole process. If I can raise money, I could hire too. Right, that's the other option. I do like the idea of co-founder because you can hire, but when somebody else is investing in a dream, it's never the work cannot be replaced by somebody that you hire.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good they are.
Yeah.
You can't replace.
There's the
There's the
risk
magic.
component. Yeah.
There's the risk and there's the magic, right? Of something that you're gonna be part of one day that you may be selling the business for. Maybe you'll sell the business for millions of dollars, or or you can start making some dividends at some point too as you're getting your salary, right? Because everybody's gonna get paid at some point, but so if I can raise, I can hire sooner. If none of those are in the game yet, then I'll just keep doing my thing, keep pushing through, like I've been doing. Enjoy the happy moments, the happy moments. Enjoy them as much as I can, and slowly just chip away at those things that I know I don't like until there's gonna be money coming soon anyway as the business grows to hire somebody.
And you mentioned you might be raising. What's your strategy with that?
I don't want to raise from VCs.
Okay.
I know. I'm gonna say this today, and in a month I'm gonna change my mind. I don't know, possible. However, I'm gonna be smoking a joint and being like, I think I should raise from VCs.
Just send that one email. No.
No. The thing is that I don't want have to like. This is Ariana is growing with a mission,
Yeah.
and that's gotta be the driving force.
Okay.
And it can take, once you get into VC, first of all, I'm too small for VC.
Yeah.
Second, if you get into VC, then they need, in 2 years, we got to raise again because the valuation's got to go.
Yeah,
and then it's got to grow. And that's got to grow. I don't want that.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to raise, it's going to be friends and family.
Okay.
Maybe angels. Even then, there's angels and angels. There's angels that care more about the story. And there's angels that care more about, if I do this, I need to know what my exit is or what blah, 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 which is, again, not there yet.
It starts to resemble what VC
is.
yeah.
So somebody that believes in the team. Right now, me. But again, you bring a co-founder now that you have more of a team too, right? So that's also more exciting. But the team, the vision, and the opportunity. And the mission, if you understand the mission, you understand how much this can help heal the mental health epidemic that we live in North America. It's been awful after COVID. It's just been mental health. It's been on the rise, and this can be something that tastes great and can give people an extra option. So anybody who sees that, if I had money, like some of these angels people, friends and family, and I had $1 million in my bank account, and somebody comes and says, again, I am super comfortable and I have extra income, and I see a young team of people that believe they're passionate with a great opportunity, I would do. I've done it in my 20s without money. I'm invested into dreams. I can't be the only one on
out
this
there
planet
that's willing to put in a little bit,
that sees a vision,
give back a little
and I know
bit.
they are. I know there are out there. It's just, again, if it happens, it's gonna happen naturally.
Yeah.
I'm not
But
forcing
that's also
it.
part of like you sharing your story. You're like sharing to the world what you're doing, and then the people that are interested hear and are attracted and come to you, and then that can attract co-founders, your potential team, potential people that want to invest as well,
100%.
customers, distributors, retailers, like partners, everybody.
And that's the philosophy
Yeah.
lately, is just put my story out there. People that are interested, they're gonna gravitate towards it in a way or another, and let the magic happen, because there's beauty in that too. I love it. That's the part that wakes me up every morning, is like knowing like what's gonna happen today that can change the business. Is it gonna be a co-founder? Is it gonna be an investor? Is it gonna be a new retailer? Is it gonna be a new conversation? if I don't have that, I'm having a wrong day.
Yeah.
And that was our conversation. Hope you liked it. You made it till the end. Thanks. Check out Alessio at Alessio Monterosso on socials, on the internet, on LinkedIn, and arianaturals.com. They're in stores in Ottawa, Montreal, Vancouver, and they've got a store locator on their website if you're curious. And they're really active on Instagram. So follow them. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Cheers. Bye.